Why ain't all my lights lit up like y'all's?
I don't have your deal on. It doesn't matter because you're plugged in right here. So you're plugged in right here to the deal. So that's all that matters to us.
What are they wireless to?
So if you were to take those off, it'd be wireless and you could run the lights. The lights don't mean nothing right now. Like Mike's don't even have his plugged in. I just noticed that. I thought you had to run power to them to make them work, which you don't. Like if Mike talks right now, talk.
Hello, hello, hello.
Yeah, so he sounds very good. Dad probably wants to wear.
Where's my headset?
You can wear that one right there.
I thought you said get three of them.
I don't have the extra cable to get over there.
So I want to flip it over the table.
Yeah, flip that over the table.
So Mike's gonna. Man, this is our first. This is our first one, man. It's gonna be a little difficult, but we'll get it figured out.
We're just gonna do.
You see how good you sound inside the headset now
Yeah, that does sound good.
compared to outside. I'm sorry,
me.
Mike. Listen, Mike, I'll get you one for the next one.
Yeah, the headset makes a difference.
All right, so guys, this is going to be our official first episode. We've been talking about doing it for a while, and we finally got everything. I already had the podcast equipment once, and it got stolen with my truck in Colorado, so I was able to buy all the stuff a second time, get the podcast equipment set up. We will also be taking the podcast on the road for season 7 of No Prep Kings. But this is Swan Talk. It's going to be me and my dad, Big Country. Uncle Mike is with us tonight. We'll get him to kind of jump in every other episode of what we got going on if he has time. This is basically just going to be the boys episode where we're just going to be talking about everything, what went on at NPK this year. And Dad did call me today because he did see a post with some controversy going on. So he had me go read it. And when I read it, it was pretty good. So we're going to go into that a little bit here in a little while. But like I said, this is the first official Swan Talk, and we'll be launching this podcast every Thursday night. And I'm in the process now of trying to get it over on Spotify, Apple Podcast, and other platforms. Just working on that. So right now you'll be able to watch it on our YouTube channel. It'll be every Thursday night, but we don't really have a ideal topic for the video. We're just going to be kind of, shooting back and forth, going over everything. And if they got something to talk about, I do have some questions that y'all had asked. We will be asking them some questions here in a little bit, but we'll get to that. But if you want to hit that subscribe button and let's jump into it. Man, y'all new to this, ain't you?
Go ahead, Mike. What you got?
See y'all.
About what?
Hey, well, let's just start it off with Mike's shit 2 weeks ago. Let's just get right into that.
Where were we at?
We're at Braden. What race was that? The
Snowbirds.
Snowbirds. We was at Snowbird Outlaws. Mike finally got his car. He got his little car hooked all up. Got fuel tech put in it. Got everything working. He went up there. Shout out to Justin Elks for going up there. Mike taking his car up there and getting that thing dynoed and getting it all straightened out, man. Mike wired the car up himself, and some stuff was working right, some wasn't. Kenny Hubbard got online and helped him a couple times, but
Andrew helped me too.
And Andrew helped him. Andrew Richard helped him wire it up, but it still just wasn't right. And so I went out there a couple times and looked at it. Shit wasn't working.
Hey, hold up 1 second. I looked at Corey. He's like, "Man, if you get this shit all turned on, I can run it, but I don't know how to turn all this shit on."
But here's the thing: this motherfucker's out there running on 7 cylinders. I'm like,
I heard y'all. I was in the house and I heard y'all out there trying to fire it up and it wouldn't want to run.
I said, "This motherfucker either don't have no timing in it, or it's on 7 cylinders or something." I said, "The carburetor, it just don't sound right."
And no offense to Fuel Tech, but ever since they had went in the computer, then I went and changed stuff because it wouldn't fire after they went.
So y'all just had a lot of messed up stuff.
Yeah, we just had a lot of
So
confusion.
shout out to my boy Justin Elks.
Oh man, Justin Elks took it right
bad
there.
hombre.
They
Shout out to Modern Racing.
They knew exactly what they were doing. They got that thing hooked up, and then they went and put it on the dyno, and that thing made actually really good power in the dyno. I was surprised.
That's the only company that I use.
For not tuning it or trying to make power, that thing, I was impressed.
What'd you make, like 1640 or something on a little pole?
1566 on the jet, on the small.
What jet do you have? What's a small jet?
Little 38. It ain't nothing.
What can you put in it?
We're gonna have 55s or 60s in that thing before it's over. It just depends on how many pistons Mike wants to burn up.
You got any spare parts?
Yeah.
He ain't got enough.
Hey.
You know what he don't have?
What?
Spare transmission.
Hey, well, here's the thing.
So why did he? Let's
Listen,
get into that.
I'm sitting here thinking to myself now. You know what it takes to get a nitrous motor right.
Yeah, it takes runs, and
This bitch got to pull plugs every run. There's No individual timing, no individual jets in this motor,
Nada.
nothing. It's just straight.
Hey, tell him what whenever you put the car on the dyno at Justin's, because Justin called me. Justin called me when he got done. He said, "Hey man, you race with this guy?" I said, "Yeah." I go, "What happened?" He goes, "I'm gonna be honest with you. This has probably been the most simplest dyno I've ever had to do." I said, "What was that?" He said, "We didn't do nothing." I said, "What do you mean?" I asked him if he wanted to check his valves. He said no. I asked him if he wanted to look over things. He said no. I said, "So what do you do?" He goes, "I put the car on the battery charger and then I run it again." He goes, "Well, how long do you wait?" "Oh no, I'm ready to go now. Are you?" He said it was the most simplest thing ever.
He did it. He looked right at me. He said, "Well, what do you do?" I said, "Well, we've made probably a handful of passes with the thing, and I think we checked the plug once or twice, and that was it." He said, "You don't want to pull the plug?" "Nah, we're good. Go."
I told him when I called him, I said, "Hey man," I said, "Listen, I've been trying to get Fuel Tech to get on this thing, get it on the dyno." I said, "But Luis hasn't called me back. He's been busy." So I said, "Can you take this car in? I know you got a lot of work, dude." I said, "It's my buddy, Mike." I said, "He's been building this car for like 5 years." And I said, "He finally got it all together, got it running." We went out and ran it. It had, I think he had the V300 in it. We had the grid in it. We just had a bunch of bullshit. It just wasn't working. The sensors weren't working. It was just aggravating. So I said, I convinced him to get the Fuel Tech, which I think he got a bunch of shit from y'all. I said, "But I just need to get it running, man, so we can actually go to the track and have some fun with it." And he's like, "Yeah, man, I'll take care of it." He goes, "What date?" I said, "Well, I got this date. And he's like, he had to take off. I think he was doing some pro mod testing somewhere. But I said, "Well, I think he'll do this date here if you can do that." He goes, "Yeah, I can do that." So I let Mike know. Mike shot that thing on up there and just basically got it all taken care of, man. We went to the track with it. Everything was, I take it back. First hit, I thought Mike left and didn't turn the nitrous on. Well, what it was is the way they were running it on the dyno is Justin was manually running the nitrous, but after it didn't turn on, and then I don't think we got another hit. We had to wait till the next day.
Yeah, we had to wait till the next day.
So I had text Justin. I don't know. It was late, man. Friday night was the first time we got it, right?
Yeah.
So I texted him late at night, like about 10:30. I said, "Hey, man," I said, "fucking something's not going on." I said, I turned everything on, but I didn't really know the nitrous side of Fuel Tech because I only ran it one time on Danny's Camaro. So, and then I got on yours. I said, "But everything I turned on, what I told it to do, it should have worked, And Justin's like, "Oh, I know what happened." He goes, "We had that thing set up to where, I don't know, whatever it was, but Justin knew what it was." He said, "Man, you just got to go change this, you'll be good." So we went back and we changed everything. And Mike took it out there on the back road and just hit her a little whoop. And Mike come back, he goes, "It's working now."
We was good to go.
But we put a little soft tune-up in it. We got it to go. And, I thought standing behind it pulled the front end a lot harder than it really did, but it didn't. So, it looks like just, I don't know.
It had the tires up about that high.
Yeah, just nice carried them on out too. So it was on a good pass, man. And then all hell broke loose.
I just want to go ahead and go on a limb and say I'm the one that called it.
He did. Justin said immediately. As soon as he said, so I watched it run, and I saw the car do something stupid, and then I saw it turn around. I'm like, "What the man? What the fuck was that?" And Justin said, "Hey man, that thing just fucking either broke the rear gear or he hit the tranny brake button. One or the other."
And everybody was up there, "Oh, he didn't hit the trans." So I'm telling you, it either broke the rear gear or hit the trans brake. And then when we came back to the pits, Mike was like, "No, I didn't hit the trans brake. I ain't never done nothing like that. I've been driving 15 years. I've been driving since you had shit rolling out the side of your ass."
He's exaggerating.
No, just like that. But the good thing about it is Mike spent a little bit of money, and now we got Fuel Tech on the car. You know what happens when you got Fuel Tech on the car? We get to look at the data. So Dad said, "You know what? I'm just going to go see if he hit the trans brake or not." So, he hit the trans brake, was on it. He let go of the button, got out there probably about 2 seconds in the run, and the trans brake went, pooing, went again. So he did. He's the one that calls that. I went back
and looked at it. I pulled it up, and I was like, "Hey, Mike, you hit the trans brake button."
But on his deal, and I looked at his steering wheel because he's not the first one that's done it. I can honestly say, knock on wood, I've never done it, but my setup's a little bit different.
Clean neutral, though.
My setups are a little bit different.
I don't think they have clean neutral.
So they can they don't, but because he runs Fuel Tech, you can go in Fuel Tech and turn that off. I already talked to Justin, so you will be able to do that. That'll never happen to you again. But what
that must do in Fuel Tech is so when he hits it the first time,
it cuts the circuit
cancel
out.
it out until you refire the car back.
But So it's on a timer. But
We
the
probably need to
problem
get
is
that shit turned on.
the problem is what Mike had going on is his trans brake was right by the steering wheel, like where he grabs right here.
Yeah.
And he hasn't made a pass in a long time, and that thing did leave out of there pretty fast. I mean,
Hey, I'll tell you though,
it left the best it's ever left
listen,
before.
I'll tell you, yeah, exactly. That's what I was gonna say. Because you remember last time we was back, that thing was either ripping the tires off or it was yanking the fucking front.
And it kind of, I've watched the video 100 times. It kind of just.
It just
rolled.
slowly got out there.
So, and that was the other thing. We had the NOS launcher on. Remember, I kept
Right.
saying, man, this fucking thing. I only had like 20%. I said it shouldn't be this fucking aggressive. So I think maybe the launcher was doing something different. You know what I mean? Like it's
And it
giving too much.
may have.
I think it's going to be a fun car, man. I think we're going to get it worked out. Hopefully, we can get real soon. We can make a full pass with it. I mean, we did make a full pass. What did it go like?
Oh, no time.
Well, that was when we first started. Yeah, I mean that's all the fast it's going to be.
Yeah, you can't do that, man. They're gonna make fun of Mike.
It's listen.
I was on that 24 jet though.
Yeah, that thing was a piece of shit.
But you know what we're not gonna do again?
We ain't gonna hit the tranny brake. I learned the lesson.
Well, I guess you can put it where you always had it if you wanted to put it back. Because if we just
Nope.
No, it's too close to
I
the
got
steering
it.
wheel.
Is it?
When you go to turn and
got
say
it.
you're trying to drive it and
Ain't they
stuff.
supposed to be like over in the center?
I run mine
listen-
to the center of the
listen,
wheel.
How I drove all these years, and you know.
Oh my God! Here we go. This Mike.
But listen,
I drove.
tranny
My
brake-
shit was over on my
tranny brake
shifter.
was on my shifter.
Yeah.
That's the way I've always done it. Because listen, so when I drove, I drove one-handed my whole life. It's all I ever done. So when I leave, I would rip off the shifter and just go up and put my hand on the chute.
I
And
wished I would have did that instead of putting it back on the
But
wheel.
listen, I drove for my pro one that way and everything. I think even on the steering wheel, you can move the steering. I don't know. This dude sometimes he's half cocked when he leaves, but at the end of the day, like you got to go from here and then try and get up there. I was always, I'd pull the car, put it in gear, go in, hit the brake, boom, and just go up to my shifter. But that's how I was comfortable. Now these guys today, they got it on their steering wheel, so be it. I mean, but at the end of the day, let me tell you the difference is. Let me tell you that he's talking that shit because he don't know. Because when I back up, I'm backing right on. Here's a whoa.
I don't gotta do that.
Oh no!
You wanna know how I back up?
This is what these fucking morons
I bet
do.
you he can't ever do it. 'Cause you don't know how I back up. I know there's probably people that do that. I don't. I get enough speed. I get off the trans brake and
But
I just
listen,
coast.
when you got to turn the wheel and they got to hit. The
I
brake,
agree with that. But
that's
yeah,
all a bunch
I
of
agree with
bullshit.
that.
I do that.
I can agree with that, but
I'm
I
not
see.
gonna
I
lie.
don't, and there's a lot of people that say, "Why do you back up so fast?" It's not that I back up fast. Me and Dad have a good process,
It's not that either.
but I come fast enough
the
that I just
blower-
coast.
The blower is idle on that fucking 2000.
Yeah,
So when you got,
but
it's
what I'm
coming.
saying though is that I just coast. I probably get to about where the tree is, and I let go of my
I
trans
mean,
brake.
like a nitrous car. When you hear a nitrous car, they got to step in the throttle to get it to come because it's idle
But
12.
over my passes, I get pretty. I've gotten better as in getting pretty center and square before I get to him. Like there's a lot of people that I see that will be up by like the white line.
So he didn't used to
up on
always
the
be
wall.
that way.
No,
But
I
would
wasn't.
tell him.
Yeah.
He had to learn. I said, listen, look straight down the track. Because what happens is people get in there and they're just trying to listen. But if a driver is in the center of the track and you focus, you're in the center. When you're backing up, if you just look straight down the track, like him, I barely have to move him. I mean, literally, we just bump left, bump right, and we're almost right there. But it's because he's focusing straight down the track. And when I started testing with Callie, I told her the same thing and got her to do that. I said, listen, just so you don't chasing the racetrack trying to back up, I said, focus on being in the center of the track and look straight down. Now, I'll tell him, sometimes I say, hey, listen, before we get make a pass, hey, listen, I'm going to put you high. So he knows. I'm going to put you high on the groove. I'm going to put you far away from the tree. Because if I don't like something on the track, I want to let him know because he's going to come back and focus on being in the center.
Right.
So that's the only time that something like that would change. But focus.
And I've heard all that stuff because I mean, when I was out with y'all this past season, I heard it on the radio. I could hear you telling him, which is.
I mean, communication. The least you, as far as I'm concerned, the least you communicate on the radio, the better you are. Like he knows what I'm saying. I never hear from him. So at the end of the day, he doesn't say anything, and that's fine. But like I said, you can't have a bunch of, like I tell our guys, nobody needs to be on the radio but me because we're trying to get the car right. So just
what about the people that have radios but they still go to the front of the car?
Yeah,
I don't understand
I don't
that.
understand what that's all about either. I mean, but some people, still even going in the front of the car is fine if you're going to put somebody out there in front of the car, and that's fine. But I do think the radios are key, man. I mean, there's times to where we were getting ready to hurt a motor or something's happening, and I wanted to hit the mic and say, hey, shut it down or do this or do that. But but I never do. So, I mean, I think it just happens so fast.
Good thing about it is it's not your money anymore.
Yeah, well, I think it happens so fast, though. But, like, when he got in his wreck down there, I did radio, hey, you okay? Talk to me. Just let me know. Yeah, I'm okay. You know what I mean? Like the one time he was knocked out, so obviously I couldn't talk to him. And then this one here, of course, he got out of the car when it caught on fire. But I radioed. I said, hey, man, tell me you're okay. Just because that way, like when he got in a wreck, of course, Mom's back there freaking out. Well, I'm not freaking out because he's already told me I'm good. You know what I mean? And he'll tell me if he's fucked up or not. You know what I mean? So I already know. So there's no point in me running down there and acting like a fucking crazy man, because I already know he's good. He's got to get out of the car. You know what I'm saying? So I think the radios are key when you get to a certain level of racing. I think they're very important, man. I think they help your program the way around.
I think they're, any kind of heads up racing, I think it's a good idea.
Now, if we make a good run, Brian's like, good job, buddy! Good job! Way to go! Good job, buddy! That motherfucker goes crazy,
Brian's gotten a lot better, but there is times, like I'll tell him, and there's a lot of times now that, and I do it. Once he's got me set, like there's times that he'll back me up and then pull me back forward. But once I'm set, like I'll sit there for a second, I'll unplug my radio. Just because there's times that, like, dude, I'll make a pass, and before I hit the quarter mile, Brian's just screaming. And like I tell him, I said, dude, this car's going over 200 mile an hour with the shoots out.
Talk to me, buddy. Talk to me.
I'm fucking just trying to get stopped. Like, it's just
Justin has to reach up and put the finger on the button on the cage.
Dude. So now I done fixed that problem. I just go ahead and reach over and just unplug. But he's gotten better with it. And there was times I wouldn't even make it to the finish line. This dude's already screaming in the headset, and it's just how it is. But
hey, I feel like we're talking loud in here. Are we talking loud?
No, you're fine.
Okay,
you're good. It just echoes in here. It'll be all right for our first one.
No, Brian does good though, man. Brian's been racing with me. So
or when he bangs on the roof.
Yeah, dude, you can look at prenup. You see all the
get all dented up and shit.
All the way up the pillars dented up. I mean, I'm thinking to myself, Brian done beat the shit out of this car, man. The roof's dented. I mean, I'm waiting. What's going to happen with the new car?
No, he's not allowed to.
Oh, boy.
We've already said that.
Oh, boy.
Brian gets excited, though, man. He does. He beats the shit out of the car. But me and Brian got our little deal going. Man, after you do a burnout, you probably don't know about it. I walk by him.
I've seen the videos.
I fist bump him, That way I know he's ready. I'm ready. Brian is really a good, he's probably like, I would say he's your crew chief, kind of. Yeah. To be honest with you,
he's been with me the longest. He's been with me since I started.
And Brian knows every aspect of the car. He knows the way around the car. He can do anything out there we need to have done. So I would say he's probably. I mean, he's in charge of your car for the most part. Yeah. And he's probably your crew chief.
He's my head guy that I go to with all that.
But Brian helped me when I raced. When I had that Pro Mod back in 2007. Brian raced with me then. So, I mean, Brian's always raced with us, man. He goes everywhere with us. I mean,
one of our sponsors for this video, Cameron Johnson Race Cars. As you know, CJRC has built 2 Lexuses for Justice Swanstrom Racing and the Swan Gang crew, along with many other style cars. They are also known for their part lineup: anti-roll bars, window net kits, Zeus tools, titanium A-arms, titanium parachute brackets, chromoly parachute brackets, and plenty more race parts. The Big Johnson anti-roll is a big product that Cameron Johnson has came out with. It's the same one that I run inside my car, and it can hold up to 4,000 plus horsepower. The average Johnson is a good application up to 1,500 horsepower. Their window net kits are a spring-loaded design, all CNC pieces made in-house with easy installation in mind. A new product that just got released is the in-car Zeus tool. I run them inside my cars, and you can run them inside your cars too. The Zeus tool, it clamps on a 1 5/8 tube, so you never have to be without a Zeus tool to take your hood and front end off. Cameron does have a code on his website. If you click his link in the description down below, go to his website at checkout, type in code SWAN, that's SWAN, at checkout, and you will get a 10% discount on all CJRC products on site. I'm about to order some titanium. He has titanium as well, guys. So everything on the website, it's 10% off if you use code SWAN. Thank you guys for sponsoring our video, and let's jump back into it.
That's one of the small perks that being Brian has worked for me since 2004. So that's one of the small perks that, you know, he gets to cut out of work and go racing with us all the time. So it's cool for him and cool for us, you know. That's why I try to take Brian everywhere we go and do everything we do, because he's worked with me for so long. I mean, going on 20 years now. I mean, he's been dedicated to me, you know. So I always try to, like, I just took him to PRI with us, you know. So he got to hang out for 3 days or 4 days out there, raise hell, and, you know, had a good time out there. So, you know, that's part of it, though, man. Brian always, as long as Justin's racing, I'm sure Brian will always be there.
Yeah, he's been with me since the beginning. There's a few of them. I mean, Mike's been with me since I started, and, you know, I was probably 14 or 15 years old when I started racing.
You were a late 14, because I remember you wasn't 15 yet, and they always questioned me at the track, and I told them you was 16. I was basically lied to them, you know. But
Just like that motorcycle deal.
yeah, motherfucker riding a Harley at 14, no license.
That was kind of scary. I mean, now that I think about it now, like, I don't think I'd do it. I wouldn't even go get a motorcycle now just because of how crazy people are.
Right.
But it's just, I did. I mean, at 14, I was running a motorcycle. But
I bought him a Springer Softail.
Yeah.
Eagle.
Yeah.
Screaming Eagle, Springer
know.
Softail, yeah. But I remember when he said he wanted to race, he's like, man, I want to race. I said, well, you're going to have to get rid of that bike then. I said, that's the only way we make that happen. He's like, okay, let's get rid of it. Let's go.
all right, so let's. I got a few questions because these are what, you know, the fans are wanting. They asked, you know, you tuned my car. You've always tuned my car, and you know, you're tuning Uncle Mike's car now. But why don't you ever want to get back into a car? Or would you get back into a car?
I probably won't.
I ain't gonna lie. Hold up, before you answer that, I almost bought him a gift yesterday. Almost like a good one. Like, I think it would have won me over for the next fucking 20 years.
Right.
It better not be no fucking race car, I can tell you that. Because I don't want no fucking race car.
I found a badass. What year was your 72?
67.
Yeah. I found a 67. And I still might
Bruh.
work on something, but I found a badass one.
I'll never forget.
There's only one that I would want.
Which one is it?
That's Willis, the one Cameron built.
No, I got one that I think is pretty nice.
That one that Cameron built is like, honestly,
It's a nice piece.
I think it's.
But is his a 67 too?
Yeah, or
Nick.
they're 66, 67. What's his name though?
Nick
Willis. Yeah. But see, I raced with his dad, TJ. And yeah. So we raced. Remember we used to race at Lakeland, and his dad had a Chevy too. So he just kind of followed his dad's footsteps. But I'm gonna tell you, that's a fine car. Cameron built it. Took him like 4 years to build it, but I mean, it is a nice car. Though,
Anyways,
man.
Mike, I found one yesterday, but the guy wants 75 grand.
Yeah, we ain't
Well,
buying
those cars
nothing
ain't
like that.
cheap.
Yeah, so
I mean, they don't even have to be in very good shape, and you can still get good money for it.
so if you know anybody out there that's looking for a Chevy too, probably get one. But I'm trying to get him to come down on his price. It's a very nice car.
I don't need nothing like that, man.
But anyways, answer your question of why you won't get back in the car.
Race cars or cars in general are money pits. I don't need nothing like that.
Why won't you get back into a car? Would you get back into a car?
So yeah, probably not, man. I don't have a desire to drive, especially your car. I probably would never drive that car. I can tell you how to drive it. I don't care if sometimes you don't listen to me. I mean, you've only been a couple tenths faster than me. I just have a lot of knowledge because I have a lot of runs. But as far as desire to want to get back in the car, no, I don't have no desire. That car is too fast. It's too dangerous. I think that a guy my age, I'm 53, going on 53, I could probably think of every fucking reason why I don't need to be in that race car if I go out there. So those things like that. Now, there's guys my age that are still driving, but it's because they're currently driving. You understand what I'm saying?
Right.
I think at an older age, if you get in there, one, you don't have the nerve that you had when you're younger. You don't have, when I was driving my Pro Mod, I think I got rid of that thing when I was like 37 or so. 34, 37, so that thing was trying to spin me out. Me and Donald Long built a Pro Mod together. It was a Wally Stroop car.
We're going to get him on the podcast too.
So that thing had at that time, it was kind of the latest and greatest shit. It had a 784 Sonny's, that big fucking wedge-headed motor or whatever. But it was having an issue, and I think it was the shocks. It had these electric over hydraulic shocks, these Coney shocks, and it was having a problem going down the track. The thing was literally either tire shaking or trying to put me in the wall. So there was a lot of stuff going on in that car. I was trying not to wreck a fucking $300,000 car because half of it was Donald's, half of it was mine. And, at that time, This is no shit. At that time, when this car was trying to spin me out, I mean, there were some passes I could get down, but almost all passes I was up on edge with that thing. And Eric Medlin had gotten killed in that funny car while I was still trying to get this fucking car to go down this track. We tested, I mean, it was just trying to wreck me all the time. And I kept telling Don, I said, man, this thing's trying to fucking wreck me out there. You know what I mean? Like, it's serious, you know? So Eric Medlin got killed. And then I happened to be at we was at a race or whatever, and some fucking pro mod hit the fucking wall, spun on the fucking roof, and was out there fucking spinning and burning. I'm sitting in the water box watching this shit, and I'm looking down and I'm thinking, fuck, this guy's gonna burn to death in the car. You know, they can't get him out. And I'm thinking to myself, man, I knew right then and there. And I had already made some good runs in that car. Went down to Mockley. I think I went like 405 with it, 403, something like that. I've never been in the threes. And dude, that was, you know, down a dirt road track. So we was on some sketchy shit with it. But I think we even ran that car over at St. Pete, that little fucking short ass shutdown. So, but when that guy was out there burning on that thing, it was after that race. That's when I made my decision, Donald. I was like, dude, look, I need to get the fuck out of this car because, you know, here I am, 30. I think I was 37, I think. Maybe 34. I can't remember. But what was in 2007, so whatever that is. What is that? That's
16 years ago. 16.
Motherfucker, you can't add.
What's 14 and 7?
So 16.
Oh, no. Let's go back to it. What's 14 and 7?
So what's 16 from 53?
Huh?
What's 16 from 53?
So 43, that's 37.
So I was 37 years old, but I had a wife and I had 2 kids, Justin and Tyler, and I was the breadwinner of our family. And I'm thinking to myself, man, if I get fucking killed, man, in this car, who the fuck's gonna raise my kids? You know, who's gonna take care of my wife? You know, I'm sitting there, I got all this shit going through my head, man. Finally, I just said, man, fuck this car. I didn't get the fuck out of it. So I did. I got out of the car. We sold it. And then later on, I bought a radial car, a little X275 car, radial car, and I was racing it. And that's when you said, hey, I want to race. And so
That was that white turbo car.
Yeah, so I ended up buying a car out of California from Mike Pritchett, I believe is his name. So we bought that car from California, a little Mustang, went like, I think Mike is going like 550s or 60s or some shit out there. And we ended up getting that car
520.
It was faster now. When we made it into the grudge trim, we went in, you know, it ran into forest then. But that's when we took the weight out of it and we put a small block nitrous. It had a 550 inch, 555 naturally aspirated, maybe a 525 naturally aspirated. But we ended up going like high 20s with it. And then, you know, of course, then we made it a grudge car. We lightened it up. We called it hand-me-down because that thing, you know, all the parts off our other cars is what would always go on that car. So that's why
you bought the red Mustang.
One from Jeremy.
No, we bought Luke Skywalker first, right?
No, I think we had the red one first.
Yeah, we had the red one first. And
Was
then
it the red one?
then
we
We
got
bought
the
the
silver.
red one. Well, then and that's when I had moved back here. And hand me
Didn't
down.
you race the red one?
I put it back not the red one. I put hand me down back together.
Yeah.
I raced it at Donald's race.
We ran some stuff with that, and then we bought the silver car.
Then you bought the silver car.
That's when we ran
the-
X275. And then
me and
after
you-
that, we got the black car,
Right.
which was
Apocalypse.
Apocalypse.
Yeah.
And then Apocalypse, we went.
Well, because hand-me-down is what led us to grudge racing.
racing.
Because, you know, we were running X275. You and Ron Rhodes at that time were battling back for the number 1 spot, back and forth trading spots. But the I don't know, the whole class racing thing, I mean, it was okay, but just...
It wasn't exciting as it was at grudge racing.
Yeah, once we went and did a
Grudge
couple
racing was a lot more exciting, and then that's when we did our first grudge race with hand-me-down because we had all the parts that we had, and then we took a couple losses, and that's when we figured out, all right, we're going to go ahead and try to even out the playing field.
Well,
so,
we had to get some weight out of the cars too.
yeah,
though.
but then we went to the 632, ran that for a little bit, and you know, people started coming out with 872s, 873s, 903s, and all that. So that's when we got Apocalypse, and
yeah, so
we had a 740-inch Ford motor we're going to put in it.
brand new.
Never ran it. We actually just went right up, and it was more like just trying to do it to try to stepping stone me up. I understood it as doing that, but then we decided just to put the 872 Rare Morrison motor in it.
So I'm always been you know me my whole life. I've always been diehard Ford. So that was the whole reason we built that 750-inch motor. Actually, Clevis and Bennett built it. because I wanted a Ford motor in the car. Now the downside of that Ford motor was it was so big and it was fucking heavy. I mean, we had traded hand-me-down to Martin McLemore. You got his name?
Yeah.
Traded him that for the 872, which was Shannon Jenkins' old motor that called Bluto. Right. So it was a fast motor. Well, that thing sat over there in the corner for quite a while. We never even used it, just sat there. But then I had the 750-inch motor there, was getting ready to go in, I think, the silver car.
Yeah.
Then Barry Mitchell's car came available. So I went and bought Barry Mitchell's car, and that was a really nice car. That car was built by Racecraft. And that was Barry's, at one time, I think it ran X275, and then it ran, I think it was LDR or something like that. I mean, it ran good. Barry had that thing going like some four, I think he went in the teens with it with a 5-inch motor. So we bought that car. It was a good working car, worked great. And I was looking at the size of the two motors. I'm like, fuck, I might as well just put this 872 in there. You know what I mean? Like it's 120 more cubic inches. They're the same size motors. I mean, that Ford was so big and so heavy. Right. So we ended up putting that in there, and we come out with Apocalypse and we ran it. And, you know, we kind of had to learn our way with that thing a little bit till I get a handle on the tune-up, get a handle on the car, you know, just figuring everything out. I mean, I never ran a lockup before. Never ran a 3-speed in these cars.
Imagine if you'd had fuel tech on that thing.
Yeah. Oh, and then not only that, never had I run an 872-inch motor. You know, a big fucking motor. You know, that thing was big. At that time, that was big because the next biggest motor past that was a 903. They didn't even have 959s or 976s out then. So, you know, we started running it, and then we got a handle on that thing that was fast. So we kind of was rolling through the grudge scene. We was fucking people up. So that car was truly a 28 with race ready. It was like 2840, 2850. So it was still heavy. I mean, that was a true fact. That was true stock suspension car still. I mean, that car just really worked. It was good. And I think and this is back, I don't know, what was it, like 6 years ago or something? Yeah. I mean, on the 275, it went like 102 or 103 on the 275, and on the 315, it went 990. I mean, that back.
Didn't that car go in the 70s though?
Who? No.
The fastest we went with that car,
I think it was a 408 or 407.
406, I think is what it was.
Somewhere like that. Yeah. I don't know.
We went a 406 with that car, like 183. But I mean, that thing was fucking. I mean, that's kind of like LDR trim right now, like what the LDR cars are running. So they're running, you know, like the fastest nitrous cars are running bottom 90s, high 380s. But this was like 6 years ago. This car at 2,850 pounds ran this fast. You know what I mean? Was less than a tenth off from the guys that where they're at today.
All right, guys, let's take a minute and thank one of our sponsors for today's video, Garage Built Racing. Here at Garage Built Racing, we sell many different products, anything you need drag racing style, new tires, wheels, engine management systems, fire systems, power adders, batteries, everything you could possibly need for your drag or street car. Their link will be in the description down below. Click on their site, go over there. You can get anything you need. Mike needs a set of seat belts right now.
I do.
Yeah, you just got a steering wheel in. So there's plenty of stuff that you can buy parts to be able to put on your car.
I need to get that fork for my brake line.
Definitely need to get that fork for your brake line. So Garage Built Racing, thank you for sponsoring our first podcast video. Yeah, make sure y'all click that link in the description and head on over there and get you something for your car.
Hell yeah.
So it was really ahead of its time. And everybody was showing up at the grudge scene with full tube chassis cars now. So now we're running cars that are 300 pounds lighter than us and got the same size motor. So
that's when we came out with Armageddon.
That's when Armageddon came around. So now we come back to the playing field with big motor, but this time we moved to the Musi 903. Mm-hmm. So we ended up, we got the Musi 903 from, what's his name?
I don't know.
You know, he had the white Pro Mod.
I don't know. Keep it rolling.
Either way, I can't think of his name right now. But anyways,
Chris Patrick.
So we got a 903 from him, and we put it in there, and you know, in Armageddon, and Armageddon was fast. And then we acquired a 959. I bought it from Pat, but it was through one of his Pro Mod guys. I can't remember the guy, one of the Pro Mod, but it was like the latest, greatest, newest one. And we got the 959. It was a little bit faster than the 903, not a lot, but it ran a little bit faster. But Armageddon ran good. That was one of the very few cars that we never showed a time on. That car never lit the board. Armageddon never lit the board. So we ran that thing, and it ran good, and we did a lot of grudge racing with it. And, finally it got to where even that car was kind of heavy. It was like 2550. So it really wasn't an all-out pro mod deal. So then we show up with Alcatraz. Now we got a full-blown pro nitrous car, and it was actually the old Alan Albee car. So used to be, again, Shannon Jenkins had it back in 2012 or 13. So, we went from this car here we went from a 101-inch wheelbase car, because everybody said, oh, you're not going to go no faster, it's carrying the wheels, you got to get a longer wheelbase car. So we get this longer wheelbase car, and now this fucking thing is just wheeling like a motherfucker. We went from going down, making A to B strong runs, to can't even get down the fucking race car. So it's really about, I learned a lot about engine placement. I learned a lot about header downforce.
We ended up going a lot faster with that car once we get set up.
But it also, with Justin in the car, race ready, that car could get down to 2,350 pounds. You know what I'm saying? So that's a big difference. I mean,
I was lighter back then.
But anyway, so we kind of went through all them cars, and but we had a lot of fun in the grudge scene. I mean,
it taught us a lot, and then we exited the grudge scene because at that point I didn't think there was any more really to. I mean, we won a lot of money.
Well, here's the problem. We ran through and we won a lot of money and we won a lot of races. We didn't lose hardly any. I mean, I probably can say out of 50 grudge races we ran, we probably lost 5 at best. We never lost no big money grudge races.
That was a good thing about it. Is that the big money?
We lost some $5,000 races, but not no real big pot races.
Right.
We always won those. But the last year that we ran Alcatraz, this is when he decided, and we already knew how fast we were. We knew he could run RVW and be pretty competitive. So that's when he decided, hey, I want to go class racing again. Well, let's go run RVW. So we finished up the year in Orlando, and we had like 7 or 8 grudge races one weekend. And I think we won, let's just say we had 8. We won, I think, 6 of them and lost 2. Can't remember, kicked the tires, whatever. But for the most part, in the grudge scene, whenever we went down side by side, we never got beat. The only car that I can really remember that beat us where we made the trip was that white Savage car. That white Savage car beat us twice with Armageddon and once
with Alcatraz.
But Alcatraz kicked the tires, didn't make the pass. That was the car to outrun the Savage car because obviously we had a lighter car. Now that twin turbo car he had, it was just fast, man. That car was a badass car. I mean, it worked good. It was fast as fuck. I think it was out of Michigan. But I mean, that thing just wore our ass out, man. We got beat.
It was one. I mean, it didn't take a whole lot of money from us. I think it was like 15
racing.
grand at total, but there was a lot that went into it. But it just got to the point where we were having to give up so much to make races. And this guy over here, he doesn't like to admit it, but he's quick. He gets a lot of races. I ain't gonna lie, but he gives in a lot.
I'm gonna race.
No. He gives in a lot. So, like, if he's trying to lock in a race with you and within 10 minutes, he's going to offer you something. And that's where I told him, I said, man, we got to run our car twice as hard to make that up. And these people have the same shit we got. So at that point, we knew that we could compete in RVW. So we said, let's just go ahead and move on. Let's go do it. We'll still come grudge race. And we did for a little bit. But we moved on to the class racing because, one, I was wanting to seek out the sponsors and try to start to apologize. I'm sick, guys. But try to seek out the sponsors and try to move on with our program. And that's when we decided to go run RVW. Right. And then from RVW, we did it for a little while, was able to cause, I wouldn't say really cause havoc in the class, but we were able to bring some kind of controversy deal to it. Stevie was the almighty in that class. I mean, he won everything. He had a lot of good parts, a lot of good money behind him, and was able to do that. And then fast forward, because I mean, we could talk forever, guys, about how long we've been racing. I've been racing for 14 years, but that's when we fast forward and we kind of moved over to the MPK stuff and started going from there. Because even class racing, I mean, I won't say it's boring, but it's just the rules change all the time. It's just you gotta sit around. The biggest thing was the sitting down. It got to races where you were having to race for a week straight. Yep. And that's what kind of ruined it, where MPK was a 2-day deal. We loved that. You come in, you run Friday and Saturday, you're leaving to head back either to another race or home on Sunday. It was the best thing possible.
And you're running for a big purse, too, though.
And you were running for $40,000.
Every race.
And listen, Radio vs. the World ran for big money, too. You had Stevie Jackson.
But it was only twice a year.
And it was twice a year. Stevie Radio versus the World ran, but I ain't gonna lie, Stevie was hard to beat. He was the main one, and then they came out with the nitrous combo, him and Marcus Burt, and they were able to set the record with that
I think they
deal.
won a 54.
Yeah,
I think you won a 64 and Mike Cervantes won a 58 in Alcatraz. So we were behind.
Yeah, no, it was just and it was, and that's where, and then I think now
I was in that black Corvette. That thing separated like 14
it
foot.
did. I mean, and I've always said, I mean, them guys, they got a lot of knowledge behind them, a lot of money.
But we also had, we had 3 or 4 year older motors.
Yeah.
3 or 4 year older converters and stuff. We never really had, even back then.
Like now, I got the latest and greatest shit.
Now Justin has. I couldn't afford it back then. Put it that way. Yeah. Justin, he was young in high school still, so I could only get what I could afford, and we had 3 or 4 year old shit, and everybody had the newest, latest, and greatest. So we was always, even in RVW, we was a half a tenth behind. And what really for us to get up to that level, we needed to have the latest and greatest. We actually needed to be able to race at weight too. So these guys were racing at 2,250 pounds. We never could get that light. We was 2340. So we still was running heavy, but we did well. I mean, I think we went 204 and change, or 205, and the record is 207 with, I think, J.R. Gray's car. So we was 2 mile an hour off, but like I said, I was happy with what we did there. Moving over to NBK was a little different because I'd been on radials now for like 10 plus years.
I remember him sitting out in the shop that one day. He's like, I don't know, this is a good idea. He's like,
well, the problem was from a radial to that big slick, I had to forget everything I knew. You know what I mean? Like and I can tell you what happened is we were starting to move that way because he wanted to run pro nitrous with that car with the Alcatraz, and we put big tires on.
Right.
Well, I couldn't get this motherfucker down track. I mean, I fought it.
That's because we were on that Mickey Thompson.
Yeah.
And then we were trying to run that 34.5.
We put the 36 on that thing. That
Dude,
bitch went 371.
I was so
down
upset. I ain't gonna lie, and the problem is we didn't know a whole lot back then, and we were asking some people, and I won't say that they were kind of steering us the wrong way, but dude, I was shaking my teeth out.
They were steering us the wrong way.
Dude, we were fucking breaking the car, everything. So we were over in Orlando testing. Sorry to interrupt you real quick. We were in Orlando. We were testing for 2 days and couldn't get shit. I'm talking about we couldn't handle nothing. So the last day, he's over there. He stayed over that night, and I had to come back. At this time, I was still working for the company and everything. But anyways, I came back over there after work, and I told him, I said, we're going to make one pass, and I bought a set of 36s. I said, we're going to put them on the car. If it don't go, then we're done. But if it goes, we're going to go from there. First pass with a set of 36-inch Hoosiers on the car went a 71.
Yeah, right.
Like
down.
just that,
and
dude.
I didn't even have it stepped up. You know what I mean?
Dude, like it was just there, and that's what. And then that's kind of when we started learning that it's just some people aren't in your best interest. You got to really do for your own.
I've been dealing with that all my life.
So we learned how to run on the 36. Then we move over to MPK. We're running the 36, and
he was against MPK.
I know.
Go ahead and put that.
We had a conversation about it out in the shop.
Yeah, he was against MPK, guys.
I just don't know if this is what my boy needs to be doing.
Yeah. But, like I said,
ask him about it now.
We ran the 30. Oh, I love it. I mean, I think it's the best racing we've ever been a part of. But we ran the 36 on, moving in. He got rid of the nitrous car, and then he wanted to, he built the prenup, but we ran that 36 the whole time. And then this year, they kicked us on the 30.
Jumped a couple cars out for that.
Yeah, he jumped those out. But then this year they kicked us on the 34.5. So again, it was a learning curve again, but it wasn't so much. And the problem is everybody said, and I remember the 34.5 wouldn't even go down the track, but we got a hold of the 34.5 pretty quick, and we were doing fine with it.
Yeah, but you got 4 or 5 years under your belt.
Yeah.
Now messing with that tire, so it makes a difference. And your chassis tuning's come a long way as well. So
well, you kind of learn, all that, and then like even going from the radials to the big tire, and then going from a big tire prep track to a big tire unprep track. Like when we first started running APK, the tracks were sketchy as fuck. They just were, man. And then I mean, they used to fucking scrape them motherfuckers and
come in there with soap trucks.
This year,
wash them down.
This year, the tracks were the fastest they've ever been and as good as they are. And they don't do nothing to them. They just don't unprep them. So whatever they were from the last event, that's how you race on. They just broom it off.
If we come to a track and it's half-assed, then it is what it is.
If it's
good,
then it's good. I mean, Alabama was great. Texas was great. There were some tracks we went to, you know, if it rained, then it is what it is. It's just part of it.
The problem is the moisture gets underneath that rubber and it starts peeling up. I mean, but
So there is some stuff that
That's funny
does
when
that.
you say Texas, because I remember I was home and I had talked to you on the phone and you said, I'm winning Texas.
Didn't we win Texas before too?
Yeah.
'Cause
He said, he told me though, like 2 or 3 nights before the race, he's like, I'm going to win Texas. As long as that car will stay together, I'm going to win
after
Texas.
we went the first 2 rounds, and so where'd I come from Texas? Alabama? So we were fast in Alabama. We just got put out. I mean, problem, you know, because there's a lot of fast fuck cars. I can't remember who put us
That's
out.
when you started your part-time gig. He was part-time too, wasn't he, Justin?
Yeah, now he just flies in and he
But,
just flies in,
But
fucking
we just
flies out.
I knew we were close to Alabama. We'd been fighting this car, been fighting it going down the track. We found some issues wrong with it. We were close in Alabama, and so I knew going into Texas, I felt like we had a good race car. I really did. We actually tested. Didn't we test in Ohio? We tested good, and then from Ohio we went down to where? Alabama?
No, we were at
no.
we were at Galat.
You-
Yeah, I ran
I
with.
didn't-
Yeah, I
I
was
didn't
with
go to
Justin.
Galat. He
Yeah.
wasn't- he wasn't
I took the car. I took the car to Justin's, and we went and tested, and we were starting to get the car
That's when
figured
you
out
found
again.
the Heim joint so bad and all that stuff.
And then Justin did a lot of work with the car, as in getting it to work a lot better. And once he
That
did
guy's
that,
smart, man.
he is. He's a very smart guy. I've always said it. And
But we
it's a
did-
good car. It's a good guy to have in your back
We
pocket.
didn't go no faster. We just ran the same speed we've already ran when we're doing that. When we went faster is when
When I told you to fucking stand on it.
No.
Dude, we're out there fucking running dock. No, I'm gonna be serious with it. We're out there running dock, and I fucking tree this guy. I tree him. I'm boom, and he catches up to me at the 60 foot. And I told him, I said, listen, we're gonna have to turn it up this next round. Well, if it fucking kicks the tires, you're gonna yell at me. I said, if it does, then it is what it is. Because if we're gonna run that number, it ain't gonna be fast enough. Then he tried to come on there and listen. I love Doc. Well, Doc's gotten faster. I said he ain't that fucking fast.
Doc has gotten faster.
No, he ain't that fast yet, though. I will say that right now. So, anyways, he did. He turned it up. The third pass was a whole different ball game. And then we went from there to the fourth. And then the fifth round, I asked him, I said, what do you think going in this round? He goes, well, you keep wanting me to lean it out. I'm going to lean it out, but it's probably going to break. I said, it'll be all right for this pass. Well, it broke. It broke right at the finish
Yeah,
line.
but I do remember about 3 or 4 races prior to that, Dad said, hey, Justin, probably I'll look at that crank, buddy.
Yeah, he did.
Probably should get a new crank and put
He
it in.
was. I was really, and I've
we
explained
only got
this.
300 runs on that crank. Shouldn't
No.
we look
But
at
it's also.
But
it
I've explained this as it is. I had one motor that was in my car. It's a used motor now.
I just
I
like
have.
fucking with you.
Yeah, I know, but I mean, I'll explain it to everybody else again. I had one motor that was in my trailer that was brand new. At the time, we did not know that we were going to race Arizona. They didn't tell us. Texas was our last race. So I said, you know what? If I can get one more race out of this motor,
Right.
then I don't put my used
But
motor.
it's not also 100% of the crank being broke either, because I smoked some pistons down there, and when you smoke them pistons and you have that big explosion,
Yeah, that's all
knocked
that.
the blower off. Then it broke the crank. So a lot.
But
a
my
lot of
game-
shit
my
went
We
game
had
plan-
like 8 of those. And
Yeah, my game plan was there was no point in me putting passes on a brand new motor if I felt like
I
I could
get it
get
100%.
one more out of that deal.
If I hadn't smoked the pistons and knocked the blower off, it probably wouldn't have broke the crank.
Yeah, it probably put a lot of stress on it when we did that, but it lasted out the year. I have a different game plan going into next year. I have now purchased a third motor. So now I have 3 motors from Noonan. I purchased a block from them, and I have enough parts that where I put a long block together. So now I have 3 motors and 1 long block.
Hey, so we're getting ready, not to cut you off. We're getting ready. We're going to the finals. And I knew we had a fast car. I really felt confident we was going to win that race. As long as nobody left on him, we were going to win. Because it was.
They don't leave on me, Mike.
I overlaid my runs, and I wasn't telling him how fast it was, but I knew it was fucking fast. So I thought to myself, I said, okay. I said, we got one more. I said, now we got Clay Cole. I said, I'm thinking to
Clay
myself.
picked
I said,
up good.
Yeah. So Clay was running good, and Justin Coventry goes, well, what do you think? I go, well, I said, Clay's going to run hard. I said, I don't know that we can beat him exactly where we're at right now. He said, well, can you go faster? I said, yeah, I can go faster, but it's probably not going to be good. He says, well, how much faster? I said, I think I can pick up 4 or 5 numbers faster. I said, but it's going to run like a motherfucker till about 550 feet. And then after that, it's going to be all hell going to come loose. He's like, you know what? We're in the finals. He said, as rough as years we had, he goes, let's do it. Whatever happens, happens. Let's go. And that's what we did. And sure as shit, about 600 foot, that motherfucker shot.
But you know what's funny? There wasn't a lot of smoke or anything.
No,
So when you went, because I was at home, I had it on my.
I didn't even know it blowed up.
I had it on my 65-inch TV. You know, doing my iPhone thing to the TV. I'm laid back and I'm watching. And I'm like, here we go, go. You know, and you
Dude,
drop.
he stretched Clay out.
Yeah, he stretched him out, and I'm like, hell yeah.
he told me down there. He said, man, it was almost a bumper.
Nah, he
said,
stretched Clay
At the
out.
time, I didn't know where he was at, so I said, okay.
And then, you know, I don't remember if I texted Brian or whoever I texted, but, oh, it blew up, the blower side. I said, dude, the pass looked great.
Yeah, so I'm standing under there, so I didn't see nothing. It didn't smoke or nothing, but I heard they said Justin's on fire.
Yeah,
on
I
fire
did
down
hear
there. So
that.
then everybody started scrambling and running around. I said, what the fuck you mean it's on fire, man? It just, no. I didn't think nothing happened. Then he come back and the blower was all cockeyed and fucking cranks hanging out the bottom. Like, oh yeah, that ain't good.
But
It was worth it. I mean, I don't know if it's worth it. Justin ain't got the bill for it yet.
yeah, no, I already dropped it off. You know, we'll see what that bill ends up coming up. But I have a new game plan for next year. Like I was saying, I have 3 full motors and a long block. I'll end up, you know, when I get a little bit more money, I'll buy an intake and shit, complete it, and I'll have 4 motors. So my game plan is to, you know, probably we go between 20 and 25 runs, 25 runs on rods. So I'll probably try to go 3 sets of rods. That's 75 runs, and then pull that motor out and put another motor in. And then
That way you get the crank and stuff.
it's cheaper. It's cheaper to put the rods and the crank in now than it is what I'm going to get this.
With as
bill.
many runs as we're making, plus with testing, it's going to take 2 cranks to make it one season. That's what
for
it'll
sure.
take.
So I was able to, you know,
That's if nothing bad happens to you.
sponsorships and, you know, social media and all that. It's helped me out, and I'm able to.
But you know, touching on MPK, I think MPK is like one of the best series out there. Some of the racers don't like it, and that's fine. We've raced every type of racing there is. So I think MPK, they got the 2-day deal. The fan support is off the chain. So, you know, to me, and everybody just got their own opinion. To me, MPK is the best event that I felt like we've ever been a part of. So, you know, we're probably going to ride that ship until it just sinks. You know what I mean? Till there ain't no more MPK.
Yeah, I don't have any other plans of doing
I hope
another.
MPK doesn't go anywhere, and I hope we can keep it going and, you know, keep running it hard, because it's a very fun series. It's very competitive. And because the racing's been so tough for, how long have you been at? 3 years now?
This is my 3rd season.
So through 3 seasons, we as a team, as a whole, have gotten better too. Now, one year he's nitrous, the next minute he's pro charter, the next minute he's screw blower. So that fucks me all up, because I got to fucking learn all this shit, you know?
Right.
But I think also towards the
Got to run up front.
towards the middle of the season, I started learning more and figuring out more about the screw blower. And, you know, I haven't really talked to too many people, or really anybody. I went and tested a couple times with Lee White, and Lee's kind of given me a lot of good pointers. He ain't going to give me his best, because he wants me to get out there and do it, and I get that. But whenever we went and tested with Lee, I stand back. I don't do nothing. I let Lee do his deal. If Lee's helping us out, I let Lee run it. Now, Lee ran the car, I think, 2 or 3 times this year. Me and Justin were going back and forth, and he wasn't really successful with it. But, you know, he doesn't know the car like I know the car. So at the end of the day, and I think that's kind of what got y'all at Galot too with Justin Elks. He ran the car, and the car didn't make it down the track either. But again, I know the car. So yeah, I know what that car likes, what it don't like. It's not the same as every car out there. Prenup's got her own, you know, that motherfucker got her own attitude. You know what I mean? You got to treat her just right, or it ain't gonna go. But at the end of the day, I think as me tuning the screw blower, I got a lot better through mid-season towards the end, and I was really standing on his motor. So I was really watching every cylinder, every hole, every plug. And I mean, I was, you know, that thing I burnt the cad off almost 90% of the cad. Like, there just wasn't nothing left of the plug. And that's why I told him on that last run, I said, it's probably going to fucking get it.
But I think we raced smarter towards the end of the year too.
Well, we had a lot.
We just had so much bad shit.
I
had
know,
bad
but
luck this
we've talked about this, and I told him I'm honest with him, just like I'm honest with everybody else. There was times, and I was even glad, because for an example, we were at this last race in Arizona, and we made 3 passes Friday night, and we were struggling. The 3rd pass, we actually got to go down. We were messing around with, you know, rear steer and everything, and I was trying to tell him, you know, which way it was going, and this goes back to like Alabama and Texas, where
Like, he was telling me it was going one way. I was telling him it was going another way. Just because I drive the car, I know what it feels like. So we kind of got to an understanding, as in, I was listening to him, he was listening to me. But fast forward, we're in Arizona, and we were going into the first round, and we had to run Paige Coughlin.
And I reset the car up that morning.
But we had to run Paige Coughlin, and she runs fast. She's ran good,
picking it up too.
And at the time, I think he had a tune-up in there that was pretty loaded up. Like, if it would have went, it would have ran great. But it might have not went, and it would have shook the tires. And right there at the last minute, he got on the headset, and he told me, he said, hey, just put the other tune-up in it. Let's just go down the track. If she beats us, she beats us. But I know this tune-up will still run pretty fast. I just think the other tune-up, the track won't hold it. And we did. I listened to whatever he said because, his biggest thing right now, what he likes to do is you put whatever tune-up you want in it. So when it does kick the tires, it's fucking on me.
Yeah, that's true.
Nah, fuck that. I get on the headset, bitch. You out there walking the track. You tell me what you want it to run.
It was just like that in Australia.
So hold up.
To tell you something, and you
listen, Mike. When you go out as many first rounds as I do, and y'all bitches get to go back home, and I got to sit at the fucking track and absorb that shit. I start thinking about things differently. But anyways, he did come on the headset. And he said, hey, I want you to put the other tune-up in it. It's only going to be 2 numbers slower, but I think it'll go down low. She knocked the tires off.
Because I saw a bunch of people shaking the tires.
Right. She knocked the tires off, and we went right on down through there. Come around for second round, he was able to take that data, go a little faster. We went ahead and stretched out fucking Chuck 55, did good there.
Oh, yeah.
And then we had to hiccup with Slinky. I felt like we had a car coming off of Texas. I think we had a car coming off Texas. We had a car that could probably go to the finals and win it in Arizona too. And I hate that we weren't able to.
I felt like we were going to face Ryan Martin. I don't know if we were fast enough to outrun Ryan, but we would have given him a good run no matter what.
Yeah, so that's where it came in. But I did tell him, even after that race, because I had to drive back home, I left that night, and I started heading back this way. And I called him on the phone, and we were talking about everything, even for next year. And there's a lot of people that try to go for that Hail Mary pass or whatever and never make it down the track. And now granted, my car, I've wrecked it, I front halved it. It's probably not the best working car, but it's what we've had to work with right now.
Yeah, but
after we did the Heim joints,
that bit 60 foot, that thing
yes,
works pretty good.
But listen, after we did the Heim joints, and Justin helped us out a lot. Reese messing around with the car and everything, getting it set, getting shocks right and everything. It helped us out to understand more about how the shocks work and doing all that.
Yeah, because he put the new shocks on the car.
Right now, the car's good. Like, I'm telling you right now, if I go out and test bad blood, I've already told him, if it doesn't run like what prenup runs, I'm just going to run prenup again. I can't.
Prenup's pretty solid.
It's pretty fast right now. I can go almost anywhere. It goes 940, 60 foot.
And I think prenup will run up at the front with anybody right now.
It's working. It's working good. But that was one thing that we kind of did better. And that was even going back to the Texas race. I told him going into the third round, we just ran Doc. I said, I don't think we're fast right there. Even my little VPS was telling me. I said, man, I don't think we're that fast. And yes, it's not the 100% most accurate thing. Right. But I just felt like in the car, me driving it, we weren't that fast. Going into the third round, I think we ran John Odom. We stretched him out. We ran fast. Now, the race that really we had to run was Robin Roberts. Yeah. Fourth round.
But you got loose, though. You didn't lift.
I did.
You went over the side.
I got over by the wall, but I was staying in it because I wanted to go to the final. That was the first semifinals I've been to.
And we made a strong lick against
It did. It ran fast. But that was the first semifinals I've been to that year, and I was doing anything to try to make it to the finals. And we did. We pulled off that win doing that. But I think going into it made both of us better, and going into next year, we'll be able to be smarter with our stuff. There was some races we went back to. I mean, there was that one race where I pulled the chutes early. We lost. There was a race, we were a car length out in front of somebody, and we started rattling the tires, and they were able to come around me. So that's where it comes into play that we've learned a lot. I bought him a track meter now. Now he has Brian go out there and he checks the track, and he's able to put that down. And I'm spending the money to do it to be able to run up front because I feel like our team is capable of running up front.
But we also had a lot of shit luck just against other good racers. They were fucking fast. I mean, simple as that. I mean, yes, we just weren't as fast then, but it wasn't like it was any walk in the park. They were fucking fast. The competition got a lot stiffer this year. Now, towards the end of the year where prenup is sitting now, I think prenup can run with any of the competition right now. Through the middle of the year, no. Well, that thing was
Mike,
fucking sashaying.
We just needed him to get his head out of his ass.
Dude, listen.
We ain't trying to beat around the bush.
Prenup was fucked up out the gate. Listen
honestly,
here,
what we should have done, about the second time it blew that blower off, We should have flew somebody home and got that wiring and sent it there. And
It wasn't the wire.
Prenup. Listen here. Prenup was all fucked up from the first day we tested. The motherfucker crossed the fucking lane and went in the other one because he went sideways out there. And we're like, we're good. Let's go race. You know?
We were out of time to test. I mean, that's just what we had.
For 2 days.
I remember we changed all them shocks around, and we were going to go. Y'all were going to go test, and y'all never got to really go test anything.
But it is what it is.
I'm looking forward to next year with the new car. I think we're going to be a lot better now. It's going to take, honestly, I don't expect the new car to jump out there and run what Prenup's running right now.
Shit, I do.
It's gonna take to get a car really tuned in. It's going to take 15, 20 runs.
We already got a game plan with it. We're going to, Dad's going to do all the motor management side of it.
We're not starting with a new combo.
Yeah.
We know the combo. Right. We know the ratios. We know the converter. We just got a different car now. We got
the car's up at Modern right now getting wired, and when it gets done with Modern, Justin asked me if I wanted to put it on the dyno. I didn't think he needed to. He asked me if he could put it on the dyno just to make sure everything works before it goes to the racetrack.
I would let him do it.
And I said that's fine.
He wants to see how much power that motherfucker makes.
So it is what it is. I told him it's all right. We'll do that. So we're gonna put it on the dyno, and we're gonna go test up there in South Carolina area. Dad's gonna go up there with me because Dad works a normal job now, a day job. So he. At first, he was like, you just wait till Saturday when I'm home and we'll go test. And I told him, I said, man, we ain't weekend warriors no more. We don't get to wait till Saturday to go do that. So our game plan is it's going to be me, my dad, and Justin. Justin's going to really work on the car because just looking over everything. And
I got a lot of vacation time. I can come help.
Well, I'd like you to come help too. But Justin asked me if Dad would come just to do like motor management, and power management, and
that way he can do the chassis stuff.
And he wanted to do that too.
I'll tell you why it's like that, but I can do the chassis stuff too. Don't think I can't. I make changes on
Mike. Don't let this motherfucker lie to you, dude. We went to like 8 races and didn't want to change nothing.
He had been up behind joint. Fuck that. I kept telling him, there's something wrong with the car.
Hey, Mike. He never made it stern to want to change it. I told him, I got the parts.
Hey, listen.
I got the money.
Hey, listen. He was arguing with me in Texas, asking why he won. Me. I said the fucking car needs the rear steer taken out of it. I finally got pissed off and walked in the trailer, and then he's like, okay, well, let's do it. The car went straight down the fucking track. But he wanted to argue with me.
I'm just saying, y'all crack me up when y'all are at the races, man. I'm over there trying to have fun. And
fuck having fun. I'm there to win. Y'all bitches there to have fun.
I'm saying have fun racing.
Fuck that.
You know what I'm saying? It's fun when you win.
It is fun. It ain't fun when you go out first round 7 fucking events in a row.
Right.
That ain't fun.
I know. It ain't fun.
While y'all get to come home and eat fucking dinner with each other, I'm at the next state sitting there in the fucking chair.
We don't even talk to each other.
Hey, so then I'm like, you know what I'm saying? I'm in the semi. I drive to the next event. I go, we're going to do better this event. First round and gone. You know what Dad does? Hey, dog, see you at the next race. I'm like, hey, Dad, when you flying out? 6 a.m. When am I going to see you? I'll fly in Friday.
Hell yeah.
But there was times
all about that
was times that I was aggravated. But I was also aggravated because of all the backfires, and it wasn't really nobody's fault. We went into a lot of bad luck, and I was spending a lot of money, and we weren't really going nowhere. I mean, like me and Dad talked about, shit, we would have been better off, skipping fucking 4 of the events and just testing. Because we didn't do shit. We go out first round.
Yeah, I mean, we can go out to the test track and blow.
And I told, so that's it. But anyway, we ended off on a good note, so we're good.
I don't wish that on nobody.
Dude, it was horrible.
That was a bad deal.
Even whenever he wasn't there, like he had to come back home because he's working his other job that he's got going on now. So we were there.
Trackside.
Dude, we were there in Tulsa, Oklahoma. We were testing all week, and every time we went out there,
blew the bitch up 3 times in Tulsa.
Dude, every time we go out, it didn't matter what we were doing. Like we were so content with it just blowing up. So then we said we made one pass, and it made it to the 330, and we're like, all right, we're gonna load up. We're good. We went on to the next event, and boom, it's just sad. But we found out what happened, the issue and all that. So we're all good.
We never really found out what happened.
Yeah, we did.
We
bitch.
just changed everything.
Don't lie.
There's no lying about it. There's no lying about it. We didn't find out shit. I promise you that.
I think a lot of it had to do with that burn-up wiring and the boxes in that car.
He can say whatever he wants to say, but the original tune-up is back in the car and it's fast. It had nothing to do with the fucking tune-up.
Mike, he knows.
Yeah.
Don't let him lie to you.
Ask the dumbass who had a fucking wiring harness for the car that left it here at the fucking shop.
I know. It was sitting on
It got shipped here to the shop.
But the weekend, we changed the fucking wiring harness and everything in the car.
I know.
No more problems.
I changed all of it. Yeah. I changed every box in the car.
Just out of the blue, it don't blow the blower off no more.
Went right down the track.
He did that when he added that extra percentage of fuel.
Is that what it was?
Yeah, don't let him fucking lie to you.
Ask him how much.
He ain't gonna lie to you.
Ask him how much that fuel slowed that pig down.
Listen, no, it did.
It wasn't that. No,
Yeah, but
it was
the
a pig.
All right, but ask him this right now.
I kept looking at
Ask
the
him this
plugs
right now.
when I took the
With
shit
it
off.
running,
didn't look that bad.
where it's running at right now, not at 98, but at 92%, I think we got the fuel pretty good. I'm not saying we. He does. He's got the fuel pretty good. I don't think the
Well,
percentages.
sometimes you got to tear some shit up. to
He
figure it
did.
out.
He was knocking some shit off left and right. Back through.
The problem with him is he doesn't want to understand what's wrong. It's easy to say that it's this when it's not. That's why he'll never understand shit on his own. See,
we
I got to
understand.
figure out what's going on first. I can't just sit there and say it's something.
You know, so me and your dad have been very close for, I don't know, 30, 40 years, whatever, however long we've been buddies. And between you and your brother and B and Slinky, it's like when y'all do something or y'all get it, I'm the one that gets yelled at about it. He calls me and Vince because he wants to kill all y'all at one time.
I was just good once we got the backfires away. And like I said, we finished it off on a good year. So we're good with that. We learned some stuff. Get ready for next year.
Yeah.
It is what it
All
is.
thing
what
you
we
can
had.
do now is just put it behind you. It was
Yeah,
a- it was a
it's
great-
fine.
By the way, when we go run this car this Friday,
Which
remind
one?
me.
Who?
Prenup.
Oh.
We go, oh no, I already changed it. Okay. never
Why?
mind. It's back good again. I was fixing to say, because I blew that motherfucker up in Texas. That tune-up.
Don't want that tune-up in there
I
going
went
on.
No,
back
we
and-
went- we ran Arizona.
Yeah, we changed it.
But I mean, I don't know. You might have to change it for the air out here compared to there.
you will.
But so yeah, we're gonna be running a Christmas tree race this weekend. Are you gonna go out there with us, Mike? You get off,
Out there at Cletus's event.
Bradenton? Can you get off Friday?
Can I get off Friday?
Yeah. Do you got that kind of pool?
Look at that scooter.
Yeah, we live out here in the woods.
Yeah, I'm good.
So Friday we're gonna be at the Christmas tree race. This
just
podcast
got it.
video is coming out on Thursday. So tomorrow night, guys, we're gonna be at Cletus McFarland's Christmas tree race. I think this is the 4th year that he's done it.
Not tomorrow night.
No,
Friday.
The video goes out on Thursday.
Hey,
man.
how are we going to attach the tree this year? Are you putting a tree on?
I did. I got a tree being delivered tomorrow. We got to pull prenup out in the shop.
Last year wasn't.
Yeah, so we're gonna do that. Hopefully, we have a better year this year. I mean, last year we were gonna make a couple good hits, but it is what it is. We had some issues, with the 5-speed and all that. But this year we're good. We also got a grudge race. I got to run Jack Stand Jimmy Friday night. It's gonna be a heads up 8th mile
What
race.
car are you running him in?
I'll be
What car
prenup.
is he running?
Is it that?
The 240Z hit
Yes.
the wall.
Did it? When? No, I think it's good right
Or
now.
was that an old video?
Oh, I don't know. From what I'm told, that's going to be the car we're running. It's a little turbo deal or whatever, or twin turbo deal.
Yeah, he's like bumped it. I was watching Cletus' video the other day.
Oh, well, I'll get with him. But anyway, we're supposed to have a grudge race. It's heads up to the 8th mile. We have to give him a half a second on the tree. So we'll see how that plays out. I think it'll be good. It'll be a good race between the two. I kind of have an idea what I think that car runs number-wise. And I know what we run, so I think it'll be pretty good, pretty decent, and we'll just see how it plays out. But we're gonna go out there and have some fun, and do all that. But another question, just because we're probably, I don't know how long we've been on here. This is our first one, guys. So another question was, let's see. It was a good question. I ain't gonna lie. So. Hold up, guys. It's in my notes. How do you find time? Just talking to Dad. How do you find time to run a successful business and still be able to support Justin at every race?
It's tough. I ain't gonna lie. But I have good people that works for me, which one is my son Tyler and Brian, and then they have about 14 guys underneath them. So, I mean, they can pretty much handle it. I don't actually do any of the dispatching or tell the guys where the jobs are, who's working where. That's pretty much Tyler's department now. So all the guys work for Tyler, and then So without those guys, I wouldn't be able to do it. But I can get away, and even on Friday when me and Brian are gone, Tyler will handle it. He has some really good guys working underneath him. So it's really just about the people you have around you. You're only as good as the people that you surround yourself with. So that's how I'm able to do it. Is it tough? Yeah, it's absolutely tough. Leaving out late Thursday night. Sometimes we don't get to the track till 1, 2 o'clock in the morning on Friday morning. And then work all day Friday and all day Saturday, and then pack up Saturday night, and then catch a plane Sunday morning and come home. So it's very tiring, especially when we did those I think we did 9 races in a row. Man, that was just bad, man. I mean, it was tough. But it was tough on every race team out there that did it. So I think everybody, anybody that ran that series and ran all the races, they all struggled. They all had their struggles, Probably not as bad as some of the others, but some of them had just as many struggles. You just maybe didn't see it.
Well, y'all got anything else you want to talk about?
No, that's it.
Yeah. I think it was good for our first one.
Yeah.
Guys, we'll be doing a video every Thursday. On our next video, Dad, we'll get into that deal you're wanting to talk about for MPK controversy. That's going to be a good one. Yeah. So make sure, guys, y'all are subscribed to the channel. Turn that bell notification on. We'll have a podcast video coming out every Thursday. Our next video, there's a lot of drama and some controversy, especially between 2 drivers in the MPK world. We're going to go ahead and bring it to light on here. I think we should call them up and let them talk amongst each other. But I read in the comments, it was pretty lit. It was pretty exciting. So they got some bad blood between each other.
Yeah.
That's
good though, man. That's rivalry.
It makes it good.
I'm all about the rivalries, man. Rivalry is what makes it interesting. Rivalry is what gets the fans. Fans don't want to see that plain shit. You know what I mean? They want to see some intense shit. They want to see 2 drivers wanting to go at it. Rivalry is great for the sport.
Yeah. So, all right, guys, we're going to get out of here. Like I said, make sure you subscribe to the channel. Turn that bell notification on. It will be me, my dad, Big Country here. Every podcast, we're going to try to bring a special guest. We'll bring Mike, Slinky, and the boys in to be able to do some boys cop podcasts. Yeah, we'll get Brian in here talking about that. But we'll be able to bring guests in. Like I said, when we go on to MPK Season 7, we'll be taking it on the road. I already talked with some special guests, Damon Merchant, Kai Kelly, them. We'll be able to bring them on, and we're going to have some cool things. We're going to try to grow this deal and keep growing. So we'll see y'all later.
Peace out. I'm going to watch football. Oh,
My ass is asleep.
huh? Yeah, he'll be asleep.